guys, it's Devin, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. So I saw this tag going around booktube pretty recently. I wasn't aware of it last year, although I would have loved to have been. That would have been great. But I have recently become aware of it. I've seen people like Emma Books and Jessie the Reader already do this, so I thought that I would get my submission for the mid-year book freakout tag. This tag was created by Chammy from Read Like Wildfire and Ellie from Earl Grey Books, and I will leave both of their channels in the description below. Let's get right into the tag. Question 1 is the best book that you've read so far this year. And if you've been on my channel for any period of time this year, you will have heard me talk about Witch and Wizard the Lost by James Patterson. This is the 5th and final book in the Witch and Wizard series. It was such an epic conclusion that did kind of repeat what the previous 2 books had done, or the previous book at least, but it still just was so great in every aspect of the way that it did it, that it redeemed the entire series in my eyes. Question number 2 is the best sequel that you've read so far in 2017. I've only read one sequel in 2017, and that is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This book was a decent sequel. I did not mind it. I thought it was a really great conclusion. I did actually find myself a lot more hooked than I have been previously with the Mortal Instruments series. I find that City of Glass, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire are the 3 that are really worth reading. That being said, Cassandra Clare is the queen of wrapping up series and trilogies. This book was incredible. I almost cried again. It's become a problem with Cassie Clare books. Question number 3 is a new release that you have not read yet, but you really want to. For me, this would be A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is a really weird thing for me to talk about because I have not read A Court of Thorns and Roses or A Court of Mist and Fury. I have not read any of the ACOTAR series at all, but I'm currently reading Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, and I love her writing. It's just absolutely amazing. I have so much love for Throne of Glass. You guys know that. You've been on my channel for a little while, then you would know that I loved Throne of Glass. But I've heard that ACOTAR is just a lot better and things happen a lot faster. I have heard that A Court of Wings and Ruin is not the best trilogy wrap-up finale, but you know what, I still want to read it. Question number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. For me, that would be Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I am so excited to read this. I love Marissa Meyer's writing style. Cinder was one of my absolute favorite books of last year. I just have so much love for Marissa Meyer's writing style. So I'm gonna read the description from Goodreads. Follow me on Goodreads, by the way, if you aren't. Just because I know that I'm not going to do it justice, I'm going to read it right from Goodreads. Renegades are a syndicate of prodigies, humans with extraordinary abilities, who emerged from the ruins of a crumbled society and established peace and order where chaos reigned. As champions of justice, they remained a symbol of hope and courage to everyone, except the villains they once overthrew. Nova has a reason to hate the Renegades, and she's on a mission for vengeance. As she gets closer to her target, she meets Adrian, a renegade boy who believes in justice and in Nova. But Nova's allegiance is to a villain who has the power to end them both. The thing that really intrigues me about this book is that it sounds like we're going to be getting it from the point of view of someone who would normally be considered the villain in any other story. Question number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year so far. I'm gonna really hope that this doesn't mean books that have come out this year, because I haven't read any new releases from 2017, but I'm gonna go with the one that I'm currently reading because I have a lot of feelings about it. And if you follow me on Goodreads, again, follow me on Goodreads, you will know that whenever I update my reading progress about this book, I just have something more that bugs me about it. That is 99 Days by Katie Coutugno. I'm really sorry to any big fans of this book. It's just not my favorite book. I don't mean to offend you or anybody who has anything to do with this book. I just have so many issues with this book. I thought that this was going to be a really cutesy contemporary, and this girl was going to try and make things right in her life again and just apologize to the people that she needed to and just like figure out her summer. No, this book has a whiny, annoying main character narrator that I absolutely cannot stand, who is torn between 2 boys, one of them completely lifeless and controlling, and the other one just kind of an idiot. I'm really sorry to anybody who likes this book. I cannot like this book. I'm so close to being done, and I cannot wait to be done just so I can give a full book review about this, and I'm so sorry if I offended anyone. Question number 6 is the biggest surprise of the year so far. And of course that has to be Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, because I have not talked about her enough in this video already. But this book was kind of one that I was hesitant to pick up. I bought it a long time ago and just never had any interest. And then when I finally picked it up, I fell in love with it. It's probably my second favorite book that I've read so far this year. This book is full of action, and I love each and every character in this book. Even the villains, I love them as villains. I love to hate them. I think that they are all so well written, and it just made me super pumped to continue on with the rest of the series. Question number 7 is your favorite new author, whether it be a debut author or a new to you author. If it's not clear, we're going to go with Miss Sarah J Maas. I had not read anything from her before this year, and then I fell in love with her writing style and just the way that she writes characters and character development, and there's just so much that I love about the way that she writes books. Question number 8 is your newest fictional crush. Now, I don't have a good enough answer for a book character fictional crush, so I'm gonna go with someone from a comic book and a movie universe, and that's going to be Captain America himself, Mr. Steve Rogers. I have a newfound obsession with Steve Rogers and Chris Evans, and I don't know where it came from. I was just watching Age of Ultron a couple weeks ago and just found myself connecting with Steve Rogers and falling in love with Steve Rogers. Then I went back and watched Captain America, and it just made it worse, and I love Steve Rogers. I love his character. I think he's so sweet and kind and very dorky, and I just want to, like, he's a small bean, he's a cinnamon roll, and he needs to be protected at all costs. Question number 9 is your newest favorite character. For the sake of not being repetitive, I will not say Selena Sardathian, even though she totally kicks ass. I'm going to say Frank from Finding Audrey. This kid in this book is so incredible. I just want to meet him in real life and be his best friend. He's so sassy, he's so clever, he's hilarious. I loved reading about Frank in this book. I feel like there should be a spin-off book just about Frank because I loved him so much. He is so funny. This kid is so funny. Like, you think that he would be more concerned that his sister and his best friend are like kind of having a thing. All this kid wants is his computer back, and he's so relatable and funny because he's like, yeah, you can like date my sister if you want, but mom, give me my computer back. Question number 10 is the book that made you cry. You guys may or may not know this, but I'm not a book crier, but the one that made me come the closest to crying is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. We have already talked about this. I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but there is something that happens to a certain character, and it just, like, you don't know if it's gonna get undone, and if I can't even talk about it because it made me so sad, and I've never been so mad at a book for doing that to a character. Question number 11 is the book that made you happy. And for this, I'm going with Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. If you want a book that does character development right, I would go with this book. You can see Isla from the beginning to the end just totally changing and completely reinventing herself and being more sure of herself and more confident. But that's not why it made me happy. It's just something happens at the end with a couple characters that we were previously introduced to in previous books, and I don't think I've ever smiled bigger while reading a book than when this thing happened. Again, no spoilers because I'm not a jerk, but there are two characters from previous books and things happened, and they're a very small part of this book, but like the thing that happens. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book that you've bought this year. I am maybe 95% sure that I bought this book this year. I can't remember if it was very late in 2016 or very early in 2017 because I know that I tried to film something for the winter biannual bibliothon and it just never ended up working out, but I did buy this book during that filming thing. I think I might have bought it last year, but I haven't bought anything that just compares to it. I think it's beautiful. You guys might not, but I think it's absolutely stunning. And that is The Essential Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe, obviously by Edgar Allan Poe. Do you see it? Just the way it feels and the way it bends, like it kind of feels like a hardcover, but it's not a hardcover, and it's really interesting. And it's got this like band thing on it. If you're wondering, no, this is not for school. This is for me. I'm not a poetry person. This is how easily influenced I am by a certain fandom. You guys may or may not know that I follow a comedy group on YouTube called Shipwrecked Comedy, and they recently did a murder mystery dinner party centered around Edgar Allan Poe and similar authors, and it was one of the best things in the world. Like, it was just so great. And so for some reason, because of that, I felt the need to go out and buy the Essential Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. And finally, question 13 is the books you need to read by the end of the year. I have a few answers for this, the first being the rest of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Crown of Midnight, I'm currently reading. Throne of Glass, I've already read, and I don't have Empire Storm, so I'm just gonna hold these two up. I promised my friend Tara that I would read this by the end of the summer. I would finish the series by the end of the summer, so I really need to get on that. I would also like to not necessarily finish, but continue reading the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer, because like I said, Cinder was one of my favorite books last year. I still haven't read Scarlet. Like, it's been 10 months since I read Cinder, so I really need to read this, and Cinder, and Heartless, and Winter, hopefully by the end of the year, but probably not if I'm being honest with myself. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as usual, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on all of my social media. Links are in the description as usual. Goodreads, Pinterest, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that fun stuff in the doobly-doo down below. And I think that's all I have for you guys today, so just be on the lookout for my next video. That is all from me, my shelfie.